Atheist Attraction. Welcome to another invigorating episode of Morning Coffee and Bible, where we dive deep into topics that challenge and inspire our faith. Today, we're tackling a thought-provoking subject, Atheist Attraction. Join me as we explore the beliefs of prominent atheists like Christopher Hitchens, Richard Dawkins, and Sam Harris, examining their perspectives through the lens of biblical truth. Get ready to delve into the depths of their arguments and discover how we can navigate these viewpoints while steadfastly upholding our Christian faith. So, are you ready? Let's go!
So we hold on and enjoy the ride. After all the ups and downs, this is our time. Enjoy the ride. Can you see? There's a
I am. Turn me over, I am cooked. Is that, no, just put a fork in me, I am done. That's the thing. All right. What is up, everyone? This is Morning Coffee and Bible. I hope you are having an amazing day. I hope your week or whatever time you're watching this has just kicked off and is just in launch mode. You know, I hope it is rolling. So today we are actually getting into a topic that sounds probably weird. If anybody just clicked into this, you're probably wondering, what the heck is this guy talking about? Atheist attraction. You would think it would be almost the opposite when somebody thinks, are we attracted more to atheism or are we attracted to theism? Or all the different religions that are out there, you know? But they pretty much boil down to one of those two camps, you know? When you talk about theism, it can delve into, well, there's many gods, kind of like Buddhism and Hinduism. I think Buddhism is more kind of like, we're all God. It's almost like a pantheism. But we're going to get into all that in this episode. So before we get any further, make sure you like, subscribe, share, hit that notification bell so that you never miss an episode. And let's just dive into it. These are the four horsemen of atheism. Looking into this, the one that I brought up, Christopher Hitchens, Richard Dawkins, Sam Harris, and then there's one other guy. His name is Daniel Dennett. I don't know too much about him, but those four are pretty much considered the four horsemen of atheism, kind of like the new atheism movement. Christopher Hitchens, he has passed away. I'm not too sure about Daniel Dennett. Actually, let me just check that out real fast. Well, I wasn't going to talk about Daniel Dennett anyways, but Richard Dawkins, and I don't know if you've heard of these guys, these fellas, and why I'm just going to kind of spill the beans right at the beginning, why I'm even bringing this up. When I say atheist attraction, I need to preface it with that coin term that I'm kind of using it's my attraction to atheism, not as an atheism as a thought process, but as an atheist. I'm almost like, I've always, even since I become a Christian, I have been almost drawn to listening to atheists, and like, especially like these type of guys like Sam Harris, Richard Dawkins, and Christopher Hitchens, especially Christopher Hitchens. He passed away a few years ago. I mean, so like Christopher Hitchens, he passed away in 2011. So it's been over a decade now. I think he had cancer towards the end of his life, and I didn't start watching his stuff or like hearing anything about him until he pretty much had passed away. I didn't know anything. I might have heard like his name in passing before I became a Christian. But after I became a Christian, I started like actually just watching videos on him and just was really intrigued because he was such an eloquent speaker, and I really liked listening to him. I definitely obviously didn't agree with what he kind of stood for and what he believed in, but he was always willing to engage with especially like Christians, and he went to debates, and he went to kind of just so many different venues to talk to to actual people that believe in Christ. He debated them, you know, and he was known for his hitch slap. That's what he would do. Because he would have these awesome liners. I always just listening to him, especially as well as other ones. I was drawn to that. And just the way that they could communicate so eloquently, but I obviously did not agree with the majority of what they're saying, but they're just so amazing to listen to. So the atheist attraction, it's kind of a weird deal of actually even getting into this, why I'm even bringing this up, especially doing a show called Morning Coffee and Bible. For me personally, and like since like this is kind of like my show and I just pick whatever I want to talk about, this is something that I wanted to bring up because it is something that has been on my mind and I've always thought about, because even Richard Dawkins. I'll kind of get into him a little bit. I read his book, parts of it. I don't think I ever actually read the whole thing through. He wrote The God Delusion. A lot of his stuff, he is like pretty strong, and like if you're not well grounded in your faith, you might not want to touch it. But even Richard Dawkins, I have definitely respect for him, in a certain sense, and just the way he's very strong in what he believes, and I think I saw him on when it's not Ben Stiller, but Ben Stein. He went on he was in his movie and everything like that. And Ben Stein's a Jew. He's a Jew. And he was kind of like talking to Richard Dawkins. And he really had Richard Dawkins kind of like rethinking this, like, what if there is a God kind of thing. And it kind of left it. Anybody can cut anything. And like, you don't know what's really happening and like what was edited, what was not. But Richard Dawkins, he is also another person that like, I just like to listen to. I like to read his stuff, and I obviously don't agree with what he says, but I think as Christians, we can approach these topics. We got to be familiar with them, especially if we're going to kind of have a counter argument with what we believe. We need to be able to approach these types of individuals, and especially ones that are very prominent in what they believe in, and like what they're able to propagate and everything, and how they can reach the mass audience out there, the masses of people. So I watched the video. It was and you can find it on YouTube. You should check it out. I mean, like, it was always for me always great to listen to these individuals, and even now, and like I have kind of fallen away from listening to Sam Harris. He's kind of almost went I don't even know if he would consider himself an atheist at this point. If you listen to his stuff right now, it sounds like he's almost like more Buddhist in his beliefs. He's more into kind of like meditation, and kind of just getting, like, if you listen to his stuff, it's very soothing, like he gets into where you get into your breathing cycle and being like aware of all the surroundings out there. So like Sam Harris, he's so smart. I mean, these guys are freaking smart individuals, and that'll kind of lead into like what we're going to talk about when I bring up the Bible. And I'm not saying that all Christians are have checked their minds at the door. God is called like the lower echelons of people, as opposed to those who are in high status. There are some Christians that are in high status and that have been given much more blessings in this life, intellectually and all that kind of stuff. But God he's called the lower parts of humanity almost, and it says that in I think it's 1 Corinthians, to demonstrate his wisdom, and like in calling weaker people to put to shame the wisdom of this world. Because I mean, when you actually get into it, like the things that are in this world, like it's passing away, and what is after this life, this life seems like it drags on and on and on and on and on, but it's over in an instant. And when you compare it to eternity, it is like a drop in the bucket. It's like a vapor, a mist that it's going to flare up and it's going to be gone in an instant. And what you have done for the afterlife, because as Christians, we obviously believe in an afterlife. We believe in the God of the universe. He is the eternal God. He is the God of the living, and he's not the God of the dead, This is just like interests me. I don't even know if it interests you. If you're hanging on there and you want to even hear about these guys and hear about like what they believed in and like what they stood for. And for me, it was always intriguing, and really I was always just drawn to it in a way. And I don't know why I was so drawn to it. I don't know why I was so drawn to listening to Christopher Hitchens. I mean, he wrote and I can like kind of pull up some of his stuff right now, like just about Christopher Hitchens. I'm going to go through a couple key works. He wrote the book God Is Not Great: How Religion Poisons Everything. Hitchens was known for his sharp wit and eloquent speaking style. He argued that religion is harmful to society and stifles progress. Unique perspective, as he was originally a socialist and journalist before becoming a vocal atheist. So he did pass away, a little over a decade now. He got cancer at the end of his life. Years leading up to that, he was always just on the forefront. He was the guy to listen to, and he was, especially in the early 2000s, that was the guy that people kind of, his book God Is Not Great. I have not actually read it, but I've listened to so much of his stuff and watched him on so many different things. I felt like I knew him. I felt like I had a connection with him, You know, even like Christians and non-Christians, we can have tight relationships with people that don't share our same faith. We can we all share in we are all humans. We are all the same species, you know? So it's like we can have that connection with anyone. Like having a philosophical belief in what your heart says, and like what you believe in eternal matters is definitely different, and where you kind of the crossroads that you're going to come to when you are talking with an atheist, but I've always been like the person where I'm okay to agree to disagree. You know, I'm not going to get all angry and all that kind of stuff and upset that someone doesn't believe in me, you know, or not believe in me, but believe in like the same things that I believe in. I don't think you should feel insecure with what you believe in, and then have to make everyone else believe it, you know, and that builds your security. You know what I mean? Like like you should really dive deep, because Jesus is the truth. He is the truth. So if you are seeking truth, you will end up at Jesus, because he is the ultimate truth. So that's the bottom line. So I think about that, like if my children, if they come to me later on and like one of them does like who knows, you know, like they struggle with something in their life and then they turn from God, you know, or for a time or anything like that. I would tell them, if you are seeking truth, if you desire truth, if you want to find truth, keep seeking it, and you will ultimately land on Jesus Christ, because he is he is truth incarnate. You know what I mean? So I think we can. So it's like just like talking to anyone and listening to someone. I don't think we need to feel like we need to stray away and feel like we can't engage in that atmosphere of talking to even people that are not that are atheists or agnostic, and which kind of leads me to my point. Like for me, especially in this new era that we are in. Correct me if I'm wrong, and definitely put it in the comments if you believe different. But like, to me, it seems like atheism is a little bit going out the door. It's out the window. It's kind of like almost not even a viable option for people to believe in. You know, even like I tell you, Sam Harris, I don't think he is still like would consider himself an atheist. And like even like Bill Maher, who I respect. I respect Bill Maher, and I like him. You know, like in a certain way. You know, he's definitely harsh on Christianity, but he's just real. He's real to who he is and what he believes, you know, and he does it his way, you know. So I mean, I respect people that are real to what they believe in. I don't think we should just feel like we need to hide what we believe in and just be all careful and everything like that, you know. Like, just be open and honest what you feel. But like Bill Maher, he's a person that, even after at the end of his movie Religulous, if you've seen it, like he comes to the conclusion basically is he doesn't know. It's like he lives in that world, in that mindset of doubt and not full conviction on anything, you know. And it's like, and if you watch to the end of the movie Religulous, and just like him in his current life, I don't know what he believes personally now, but if I had to guess right now, I'd still say I think he's an atheist, but he almost goes to like leans toward agnosticism. Agnosticism is almost like the default worldview of most people. You know, it's like we don't know. We don't know one way or the other. We don't have a settled conviction in one way or the other. So that's almost where Bill Maher takes it. And if you've watched his movie and his stuff, so I just almost think atheism is almost kind of out the door. I think everybody understands, and I'm gonna look at this in a second, but Romans chapter 1, it is not a debate. God is real. He has given us his creation as a witness and to us every day. We see it, and then he's given us creation, the world that we see, the galaxies that are out there, the stars that are out there. But he's also given us our inner conscience. You can't have morality and also say there's no God. There is no morality if there's no God. If there's no God, like there is no right and wrong, you know. And no matter how, and I've listened to Sam Harris so many times, he talks and talks and talks for so long, you almost get drawn into like almost in hypnosis of listening to him. But like because you can't have like right and wrong or anything like true or falsehood if there is no God. That is like it has to be there. Otherwise, you're just talking and fluff, and nothing matters. You know what I mean? Atheism, like they are standing on the the foundation of Christian or Judeo-Christian principles. They're just using that almost as a launching pad, but not realizing that if that foundation was taken out from under them, that they would have nowhere to stand, and they would have nowhere to jump from. They would just be in midair, and they would just come crashing down, because you can't have any philosophical understanding of right and wrong if there is no God. That's my personal belief. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. If you think I'm wrong, and that is what you believe, and you think that people there can be morality, what's to say anything is right or anything is bad if there's no God? There is no objective moral truth if there is not, otherwise it's just everyone's personal convictions. I like to do this, you like to do that, there's nothing that actually is binding between us. There's no, you can do whatever you want, it's good to you, and the same thing that's bad to you might be good to me, and everything like that, and everybody, that's that relativism. Next, I wanted to kind of bring up Richard Dawkins. These are just some key points about him. He's written a lot of books. He wrote The God Delusion, like I mentioned earlier, but some key points. One of these might stand out to you. I hope you appreciate it as much as I do when I get to this one. So Richard Dawkins, he is a biologist and emphasizes the role of evolution. And if you ever listen to him, he'll say evolution in explaining life without the need for a deity. He coined the term meme to describe how cultural ideas spread, known for his out campaign encouraging atheists to come out about their beliefs. So he's a biologist, and like that the one that really stood out to me about when I just looking some data on him, he coined the term meme. That has got to blow you away, because it blew me away. I actually had to take it to Google and look it up and see, is that true? And yeah, I mean, it says that he coined. Let me see what it said. It says coined by the British evolutionist Richard Dawkins in his book Selfish Gene, 1976. 1976. A meme is a unit of culture such as tunes, ideas, catchphrases, clothes, fashions, ways of making pots or building arches. I have no idea what that all means, but he coined the term like in 1976. It's just like memes are so huge today. It's like I just think it's really cool. Like that started with him. I think that's pretty neat. Yeah, and I should clarify that there's nothing new under the sun. Who knows? Hundreds of years ago there might have been memes. I don't know. You think about it, with kings and royalty and all that. The early settlers in America, they might have been writing out memes. You know what I mean? And then putting it on a tree. Just to make people when they pass laugh. You never know. They might have happened back then, but in our day and age, Richard Dawkins, he coined that phrase. That's pretty cool. I thought that was pretty neat. All right, and then I'm gonna skip forward. I'm not really gonna talk too much about Daniel Dennett. He's in the video that I watched with these four men, and that was when Christopher Hitchens. So you should check out that video, just like to listen to it. I mean, I guess I should be careful, because it's all where you are at in your kind of Christian journey and how comfortable you feel. Because I mean, especially early on when I became a Christian, I struggled with like doubt, and I still struggle with, even in life you go through where you struggle with doubt in certain things, and you have crises of faith where it's like, why, God, are you letting this stuff happen? But like early on, I really had to like consciously make an effort, because like I think early on when I became a Christian, that the devil or whatever spiritual forces was really attacking me, and they just come at you in every which way and make you question everything. I remember something that really at the beginning of learning about the historical Jesus. So I'm not going to go down that path. So I know I'll just keep wandering off on different paths. But as I say, like I got to be careful, like where you are at as a Christian, going to read other sources, like that are going to really test your faith, because I think it's good to, if you come to it with that awareness that you need to be, these people they believe something that I don't. They're going to challenge my beliefs. I need to be strong in my faith to go at. I think it's only whenever you approach these types of things that are going to challenge it. It's just like working out. It's going to strengthen it, but it's not going to feel good. It's not going to feel good, but it's going to strengthen your faith, because you'll have a better understanding of why you believe what you believe. It's not, because I mean, if your belief doesn't like hold up to, to the pressure, it's not a valid belief. It's either true or it's not. You know what I mean? So it's like we need to like challenge ourselves to like and push out, like get out what is incorrect in our faith and our walk. So it's good to have our beliefs challenged, I think. So, and me saying go watch these guys and everything like that, I'll stand by that. Go watch these guys because they will challenge you. I mean, you'll see videos of Christopher Hitchens. I mean, if you find him, like I do, I just for him especially, I just have like a place in my heart. Like I think I watched him for so long. I was a Christian and I was watching his stuff for so long, Christopher Hitchens, and I don't think I knew he was dead, and he had died years before at this time. I was probably watching it probably around 2015 or 2000, I don't even know, 2016-ish or somewhere around there. And then I found out that he had passed away. I didn't know that he had passed away. And that like it hurt, it's like, especially, someone that doesn't believe, you never know when they're, what's going on in their heart. Somebody could, turn to the Lord at their last breath, you never know. But I especially out of all these guys, Christopher Hitchens, like I liked him a lot. It's like I don't know. It's hard to even describe. But it hurt when I found like even years after he had passed away that he had passed away. It's like I don't know. Just even thinking about it makes me sad. But so like these guys and Sam Harris, like I like to listen to him, and I'll maybe just do a couple like points on him just so you can kind of learn more about him, and because these guys are very well thought, they've thought these things through. They have very strong conviction on what they believe, but I don't know if they know the whole story, and it is like at the end of the day, like having your intellect kind of challenged, and like it's not really a matter of intellect when you come to God or how much you understand. It's really a matter of morality. It's a matter of willing to bend your knee. That's the bottom line. It's a matter between pride and someone that says they surrender to the God of the universe. It's like since the Garden of Eden, we have been in rebellion against this God who created us, this God who made us. So it's like it's just the matter of like people that can be as smart as whatever, Albert Einstein or whatever, but it doesn't matter. It's if they're willing to turn to and surrender to the God that made them, and that's what is so tough, because our nature is going in the complete opposite direction, and we have these spiritual forces that are doing everything in their power. Hell is against us. Hell is against us. Hell is attacking us daily and trying to get us off the path of following God. So it's being able to turn from that and go against the current. And that's why I land on that we do not naturally do that. God has to awaken us, kind of thing, before that is even possible. But I've heard this explanation of imagine this. There's this guy. He's running through the forest, and it's dark, it's late, and he's running through there, and there's this guide that's in the forest. He's telling him, go this way, go that way, because the man that's running, he's running from something. This force that's just following him in this dark woods, and this force just keeps following him and coming after him. And this guy, he's just running. He's trying to do everything he can to get out of there. And this guy says, go this way, go this way, go this way, and then another one pops, go this way, go this way, go this way. When he gets down to it. And this is kind of like in this story, the guide is actually Satan. And the one that is coming after this man is God. God is the one that is chasing us. And Satan is saying, go this way, go this way, go this way, go that way, go that way, go that way. And trying to distract us in every which way possible. God is pursuing us. God loves us and he is after us. But Satan wants to do everything in his power to keep us from surrendering ourselves to him. So just keep that in mind. God is chasing you. He's chasing you, either you young Christian or you yet to be Christian. If you're listening to this, I hope you will become the Christian. I hope you will surrender and trust in the Lord, because All we are as Christians, we are one beggar telling another beggar where to find bread. That's all we are. So I'll kind of move on to Sam Harris a little bit. All right, Sam Harris, key work, The End of Faith, Religion, Terror, and the Future of Reason. And then some interesting points. Harris focuses on the dangers of religious extremism and the need for rational thinking. He practices and promotes meditation, blending his scientific views with aspects of Eastern philosophy. His podcast and public debates often highlight the moral and ethical implications of atheism versus religion. All right, so those are just some key points on Sam Harris. You can find him. I recently saw him. He's been on many times on Jordan Peterson's show. He's very. Did I not mention that he's very smart? He's very smart. He's extremely smart, and he's very articulate. So you should just check him out just to hear his viewpoint and everything. Just to learn it, just to see whenever I do listen to him, there are holes, and because someone that is arguing for not the God of the Bible, they're not standing on truth. They're not, and they can use all the beautiful language imaginable, but they're not standing on truth. And no matter how much they kind of like say so much articulate words and everything like that, they're not going to have any true substance. That's why he reminds me almost like of a politician, just because he can say so much, but really like there's not as much substance there as it sounds like when you really boil it down, But I like Sam Harris. I like him a lot. I listen to him. I watch him. I think whenever he was someone that was close to Christopher Hitchens as well, and I watched a lot of his stuff early on. And Sam Harris, he's at a number of debates with Christians, and he makes very strong points, very good cases. But I like the things that reminds me of him when I listen to Sam Harris. Because and a lot of these guys, they fall back on, and which is the age-old argument, which is tough to argue against. This world is bad. This world is very bad. There's so much evil happening in this world. He'll bring up that over in Africa, there's children that have AIDS, or that are just starving, or these babies that are just completely going through the worst things that you could think of, and that's tough to argue against. God is, if there is a God, He's letting that stuff happen. So as Christians, it's like we got to think, well, why is He letting those things happen? And it's like we don't have a great answer. We don't have a great answer for it, and that's why it's tough. We don't know. If we could say whatever we think, and we could try to give like as much of like, well, He's doing this because dot 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 or whatever, and it's like have whatever points say that's the reason. Honestly, we do not know why the all-powerful God that is also all goodness and love, the Bible describes God as love, why He is letting these things, terrible things, happen in this world. But He is. We can't argue against it. He let those terrorists fly into the World Trade Centers. He let it happen. He didn't cause it to happen in the sense that He actively did, but He allowed it to happen. And that is as much of His choice as actively doing it. He chose it to happen because He let it happen. And we can't argue like, why would He let that happen? And there's so many arguments out there like, well, God could make all knives little rubber things that if we tried to stab someone, it would just be like rubber and it would just bend over or whatever. He could do all this, but and then there's the argument of free will. He's like, let people have free will so that they could try to choose Him, and so that they can, He could have made us all robots. That's kind of like what you hear. That's a way to kind of describe it. He could have made everyone robots, but He didn't. He allowed the potentiality of sin to enter the world. So that's, with Sam Harris, very good at speaking, very good at debating, very good at making rational arguments. But it's like, I all these guys I definitely respect, and I like I said, Atheist Attraction. Why that is even this video is going to be called that is because the attraction is in with me. I have the attraction to listen and to these atheists and like hearing them. And like, I don't know what it is. And probably there's not one other single Christian out there that's like that. I have no idea. But for some reason, I always like, especially these guys, I like was always drawn to and listening and hearing out. And just, I don't know why that is. I don't know. But, all right. So I'm going to read a little bit. I'm going to give you a little bit of text just to, kind of ended on, but those are the kind of the main points I wanted to kind of jump through. First thing, the Bible does describe, it says in the Bible, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. That's what it says in the Bible. I think it's in Proverbs, but that is where it starts. So it doesn't matter how smart anyone is, if they don't have a fear of God, they haven't even they haven't even began to start becoming wise. As in wisdom. It doesn't mean smartness and all that kind of stuff, but wisdom. It starts with having a fear of the God, having an understanding between good and evil, right and wrong. That's when your wisdom begins once you surrender to the Lord. And also it says, now this is one I do remember, this is Psalm 14:1. It says, the fool has said in his heart, there is no God. So if you go to the Psalms, that's how one of the Psalms starts out. It says, the fool has said in his heart, there is no God. And it doesn't talk that much about atheism in the Bible, because a lot of times, especially in those older cultures, there was a well understood belief that there are gods, but they just had many gods. But it became like the God of human history, the only true and living God, revealed himself and coming and redeeming the nation of Israel, and sending his son through the lineage of Israel and all that, and bringing Jesus Christ into the world. The God of the true and living God is the one who revealed himself. He had to reveal himself, you know. We weren't just going to find out who this deity is out there. He had to come to us and reveal himself. So there's that, and then I wanted to actually end it on and just read a little bit of Romans chapter 1. All right, so I'm just going to give you some text. I can't do this and not give you some text. All right. This is Romans chapter 1, verse 18. For the wrath of God is revealed from heaven against all ungodliness and unrighteousness of men who suppress the truth in unrighteousness, because what may be known of God is manifest in them, for God has shown it to them. So now that's going to talk about what is, when we look at the outside world and everything like that, it says the creation is what screams that there is a creator. You can't have an iPhone without an iPhone maker. You can't have this world that is so intricate and put together. Our bodies are like machines. When you really get into it, like the cell structure and everything, they're like little machines happening in our body. I was just thinking about this the other day. We just take it for granted that our bodies digest food and all that and process all this stuff. We just take it for granted. No, God is the one who has put us together like that, and it's just amazing. It says, for since the creation of the world, his invisible attributes are clearly seen, being understood by the things that are made, even his eternal power and Godhead, so that they are without excuse. Because although they knew God, they did not glorify him as God, nor were thankful, but became futile in their thoughts, and their foolish hearts were darkened. Professing to be wise, they became fools, and changed the glory of the incorruptible God into an image made like corruptible man, and birds, and four-footed animals, and creeping things. And you can obviously, you know what that's talking about. It's more likely Paul's referring to the Romans and just the Greeks and everything like that. They had a God for everything. And they worshipped animals and everything like that. We haven't come too far as a human species. There are people still out there worshiping this earth and worshiping animals and worshiping the skies and worshiping this anything. Whatever you create as an idol in your life, you start worshiping. We are all prone to that. So I'm gonna leave it at that. I hope this has maybe sparked some curiosity with you. I hope you got something from this, and I hope you have a wonderful day and a wonderful week, and I'll see you in the next one.
So we hold on and enjoy the ride.